Good evening, family, friends, staff, faculty, and especially class of 2024. Let me introduce myself. My name is Aliciana and I am 17 years old. I want to first apologize for my pronunciation, but we will get to how I acquired that this past year. Originally, I was set to graduate in 2025 and decided to continue my high school education online after COVID, as it gave me the opportunity to graduate early and save for a car. My plan is going perfectly just as I had intended. My days are very predictable: the gym, work, and school. But that's the thing about life. It isn't always perfect or how we plan. I learned on March 10th, 2024, just how fast life can change. This is the part I'd like to warn you all that my story has graphic moments, but also moments I hope will inspire you all, and if you're struggling with faith, will help you find it. That Sunday was no different than any previous, except our family didn't make it to church as we had slept in. That evening, myself and my boyfriend at the time had dinner with my family. My mom had made one of my favorite meals, and little did I know it would be my last regular meal for months to come. After dinner, we left to pick up our friend Jalen to drop him off at a park in Chandler to meet up with who we thought were his friends. Originally, we had parked in a well-lit area, but we were lowered and told we were in the wrong spot. Once we got to the spot where they wanted to meet, I felt in my soul something was wrong. It was the darkest place at the park, and no one was near. My mom must have had the same feeling because she called me and told me, "Lisi, I have a bad feeling, come home." And that was at 8:54. I had assured my mom I was about to leave. Right after we hung up, our friend Jalen got out the car and walked over to the person he thought were his friends. Almost immediately, that person shot our friend in his side, hitting 2 main arteries, killing him instantly. He was only 16 years old. After witnessing my friend getting shot, my instincts wanted to protect him. I ran his killer over. The car stopped. Moments between my friend being shot and me pushing the gas pedal, 2 other males exited their car with high-powered rifles. I later found out to be AR-15s. They emptied their clips into our car. I don't remember not hearing one single shot. In that instinct, when the car stopped, my whole life changed. I opened my eyes, my ears were ringing, and I realized my arm wasn't working as I was trying to get the car to go. I then felt something in my mouth and realized it was my teeth. I went to grab my face and then realized my chin and lips were wide open and there was blood everywhere. It was at that moment I realized I had been shot. I exited the car, and as I stood up, I felt my chest very warm, heavy, and I had a hard time breathing. I then knew I had also been shot in the chest. I dropped to my knees immediately and started praying to God to not take my life, as I was not ready to leave him I was not ready to be with him or leave my family. My ex-boyfriend, who was shot 3 times, called 911 and my mom as he applied pressure to my chest. That call was made at 8:58. Me and my family's entire life changed in a matter of 4 short minutes. As I held my face, I was aware and conscious until I was placed in the ambulance. The detectives and the doctors had told my family they didn't think I would make it. I woke up a week later. Little did I know I had undergone 5 surgeries already. I couldn't speak or use my right hand, so I had to learn to use my left to write and communicate. I am now able to use both my hands to write. I was hooked up to many machines and many tubes in the ICU. The trauma staff predicted I'd be in ICU for months, that I would never use my right hand again or be the same person prior to March 10th. God placed some of the most caring, talented doctors and nurses to care for me. I was out of the ICU in 2 weeks, learning to walk again. On March 27th, I was well enough to be released to a rehabilitation center to learn how to function day to day. Learn how to do everyday things we take for granted, like brushing my hair or getting dressed. My stay was scheduled for 21 days. Me and my mom walked out April 5th, 9 days later. On that day, I was shot a total of 11 times. 2 to my face, 3 to my arm, 2 to my chest, 1 clap to my lung, 1 centimeters away from my heart, and the rest were deep grazes. I had every excuse to take time away from school and not graduate early as I had planned, but I refused to let them take anything more from me. I already couldn't eat and was being fed through tubes by my nurses, and then eventually my mom, and showered by them as well. There was days I felt I'd never recover and everything seemed impossible, but I kept praying and pushing. The time I had between doctor visits, physical therapy, and wound care, I threw myself into schoolwork. Before March 10th, I was dedicated to graduating early. After, I was determined to see it through. Graduating became personal to me, as a goal I could control, as I couldn't control the pain I was in, the embarrassment of not being able to do anything for myself. But I still had the power to work on my studies and my newfound dream of becoming a trauma nurse. During my hospital stay, I wasn't able to work on school, but once I could, I set a goal and I completed 25 classes in 3 months. and now standing in front of you all on the road to healing and graduated. These last few months cannot be described in words. You had to be there to even get a glimpse of what I had to endure. The pain I went through, I wouldn't wish on those who caused it onto me. The struggle of learning to walk again, eat again, shower, and even use the restroom seemed impossible. Now being this part of my recovery, I know with God and only God's help, there's nothing I can't do. Although I don't recommend it, definitely a 0 out of 10 rating. I hope hearing my story, whatever you're going through, either big or small, gives you the hope you need to keep pushing. I like to give all the glory to God. I was only saved by Him and healed so well with His power. I like to thank Grad Solutions and my mentor, Jolena, for being patient and understanding, as well as helping my family do this. I'd like to thank Chandler Regional Hospital, all my doctors and nurses, especially Dr. Shaw, who was my plastic surgeon, who reconstructed my face. My OT, Carol, for teaching me how to do day-to-day things again. My 2 physical therapists, Matt and Kathy, are amazing, and now I can walk normally and use my right hand again. To my best friend, Lex, who I get to graduate with today, thank you for being by my side. Last, my family. This tragedy affected them in ways I hope no family ever experiences. But the bright side is that we have become unbreakable close, and we will never take the time we have together for granted. To my mommy, thank you the most for being so strong, living with me in the hospital day in and day out and taking care of me. I love you more than life. This experience has made me appreciate life in ways most of us won't ever get to understand, and I'm grateful for that. I know God has a greater purpose for me, and I know for a fact miracles do exist because I'm giving you the speech today with no disabilities. Finally, I ask that you all include my friend Jalen and his family in your prayers, and thank you all for coming to support us 2024 graduates and continue to support our next adventures. Rest in heaven, Jalen, and have a good night.